Welcome to this inaugural session of the Insight Exchange. You know, the new program started by Mars. I think a lot of people are looking forward to this program where we read charts of prominent people or not so prominent people also. And the idea is to pick up skills of reading, and it's being moderated by Mr. Chandra and Mr. Rajeswaran together with Mr. Panir. Mr. Panir is helping with the graphics. He also will be a moderator on this program. And we hope to have this every 2 weeks, And I must also thank all of them for volunteering to do this program. And also Ms. Bhavani, who's done beautiful graphics and promotion of this session, and we had actually 30 over people who signed up, but now we are only 20, but perhaps they will sign up in due course. This is especially for members only at the moment, So the most important thing is there are some guidelines. I think it's been shared in the group. So we want to have this harmonious discussion, learn from each other. That's quite exchange, Yes, we may have strong opinion, but we must also agree to disagree on certain things. That's where the moderators will play that role, and we want to exchange. We may not know everything. Astrology is always a discovery, Mr. Chandra always say, it's a sea, and we are only slowly discovering it, So no one person knows everything, and maybe they have certain strength, other people have other strengths to look at this different aspect. So in this exchange, we actually enhance ourselves, So with that opening, I thank all of you for joining today's event. And also, we will be having another event very soon where we will try to guide the free software of J Hora, and how to capitalize on the tools which is there. That will be conducted by Ms. Bhavani. We will let you know soon when is the date, so that we all sync into one software, and not necessarily the best software, but at least when we refer to one software, and all of us are in line to look at charts, all the divisional charts, the Ashtavarga charts, and even the KP charts are also there, So that is the idea. Anyway, thank you again, and hopefully today's session goes smooth and proceed further in our endeavor to enlighten ourselves in this Vedic astrology. I pass on to you, Mr. Chandra.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. So, welcome all. Vanakkam. Good evening.
Vanakkam, sir.
Good afternoon.
Vanakkam.
Yeah. So before we start, can we give our obeisance to Lord Ganesha? Yeah, so that this will be a fruitful session. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapatiye. So thank you all for being here. And so basically today what we are going to do is that we are going to look at the charts of two iconic people. Yeah. So one is, of course, superstar Rajinikanth, and the other one is another sort of superstar, super demonic star, I suppose, Adolf Hitler. So I think we will start off with superstar Rajinikanth, and can I ask Guruji Rajeswaran to kick off, with giving us any insight into Rajinikanth's chart. Thank you, sir. So you're muted. Guruji, you're muted.
Yeah, but I want you to start, Chandra.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So I will start off with Adolf Hitler. I mean, it's a chart that, I think many of you would have seen numerous times. It's in literally every astrology website. It's in numerous books. It's being used as it has been used as a guide on so many aspects of astrology. Yeah. Okay. So So really, okay, before we go, I think today what we plan to do is that basically there are people at all different levels. Yeah, we've got a number of students from the basic astrology class, and then we've got, the senior members, and we've got experts, who are very knowledgeable, like Major Thiru and all. Yeah, okay. So what we will do is that we will try to take a sort of a step-by-step approach. Yeah, basically what we will do is that we will look at the charts. I mean, I basically want to start off with a brief synopsis about Hitler for those who don't know about him. And then we look at the chart to look at what are the yogas that are present in his chart. And then we'll go on to the bhavas and, the bhavas, and see which are the bhavas that are playing a dominant role in his chart. And after that, we will look at the dasa bhuktis to see how the timing aligns with the yogas, that were present in his chart. Yeah. And before we go, I think what I need to say is that especially, to people and to the basic astrology students, yeah, okay, there's really nothing. Astrology. A lot of things in astrology is not really so clear cut. Yeah, it's not like a black and white sort of thing. I mean, it's not like as if when you see a debilitated planet, that's the end of the world, or when you see an exalted planet, things are going to be, fantastic. Yeah. So every planet will give its benefits. It'll give, there are also the malefic side of planets, yeah, that will come into play. Yeah. So like they say, there are two sides to a coin. Yeah. So basically that's how you should view astrology. And by looking at these charts, this is where you will learn, how a particular yoga will kick into a person's chart. Some people may have some fantastic yogas, but then they'll see that nothing happens in their lives. They lead a pretty ordinary life. You may have a Mahapurusha yoga, you know what I mean? But nothing is, you're still an ordinary person, you know what I mean? Whereas another person with a Mahapurusha yoga enjoys all the wealth, the fame, the name. Yeah. Okay. So that's the whole idea of what we are trying to do today. Yeah. Okay. So Adolf Hitler. So basically, Adolf Hitler, for those who don't know about him, yeah, okay, he was born in 1889 in poverty. I mean, he was born in poverty. His parents were peasants. Yeah, okay. So this guy who was born into poverty actually rose up to the pinnacle of to the greatest heights possible. Yeah, a man who then wanted to conquer the world, as he put it. Yeah, I mean, for him, of course, the world represented Europe. Yeah, I mean, they never looked at Asia or Africa or as part of the world at that time. Anyway, yeah, okay. So basically, in poverty, and he went through a number of years with nothing really happening in his life, until World War One started. World War One started in, I think, in the early 1900s. When he decided to join the army. Yeah, because he couldn't do anything with his life. Yeah, okay. He was very much interested in art, as you will see later. Yeah, he's got a very strong Venus. Very much interested in art, but he couldn't progress in that field. Yeah, okay. So he was basically doing menial jobs until World War One started, when he enrolled in the army. And then he did well in the army. Yeah. Basically, he found a cause for himself. Yeah, a cause. Yeah. So he did well in the army. He won some medals, Iron Cross for bravery in the army. He was like a runner at the front lines. Yeah. Okay. I mean, those days you didn't really have communication, so it was really human beings who carried messages. Yeah. Okay. So he won uh, two Iron Crosses, and then from there life progressed. He after the war, I mean, he was injured during the war. I mean, he had a momentary, I think, temporary blindness, and then due to the British who were using gas to attack the German soldiers at that time. Yeah. So anyway, to cut a long story short, after he got back, he left the army. Sorry, after the injury, even I think he went back into the army for a while until peace came. and then he went into politics. Yeah, he went into politics. He and from politics he then rose by various means. Yeah, he had tremendous oratory skills. Yeah, tremendous oratory skills. He rose up to become, by scheming and getting rid of his opponents. Yeah, he became the chancellor at that time, or later he called himself the Führer, meaning the leader. Yeah, okay. And from then on, it's just history. Yeah, okay. He decided that basically he wanted to conquer Europe. Yeah, he wanted to, or the world, as he put it. Yeah, okay. And of course, there were some very bad mistakes he made, and then resulting in losses, and then he took his own life, together with the life of his then partner. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So we will go into the chart now. Look at the yogas that were present. So if you actually look at his chart, you'll see literally it's littered with yogas. Yeah, it's littered with yogas. There's Panchama Purusha Yoga, Ruchaka Yoga. Yeah, that's okay. And then there's also the Mahabhagya Yoga. There is Keshari Yoga, which is not really Gaja Keshari. It's a form of Gaja Keshari Yoga. There is Parvata Yoga, Hamsa Yoga, Buddhaditya Yoga. So a number of yogas are present. And in fact, actually, if you look at our own charts, our own charts also will carry a number of yogas. The question is whether these yogas kick in or not. Yeah. Sorry. Whether these yogas kick in or when these yogas kick in. Yeah. So let's look at some of the major yogas in his chart. Yeah. Okay. I would place the Mahabhagya Yoga as the major yoga. Somehow, strangely, this yoga tends to get, people tend to spot it, or people tend to spot it or even ignore it. Yeah. Basically, the Mahabhagya Yoga happens when you're born in the daytime, for a male. Yeah. Born in the daytime. And this was daytime in Europe at that time. Yeah. 1830. Yeah. And you have got all the lagnas, the Janma Lagna, the Sun Lagna, and the Moon Lagna, all sitting in odd signs. So when we say odd signs, we count from here. Aries, odd, yeah, odd, even, odd, even, odd, even, odd, even, odd. So as you can see, they are all sitting in odd signs. Yeah. A similar lagna also applies to females, yeah, where they are born. They have to be born at night, and the three lagnas, yeah, the Janma Lagna, the Moon Lagna, and the Sun Lagna should be seated in even signs. Yeah, so you've got that for, say, the case of Lata Mangeshkar or Indira Gandhi. They also have got this Mahabhagya Yoga, or Queen Victoria at that time, in the 1800s. Yeah, she basically kicked off the start of the British Empire. Yeah. Okay, all right. So all these people have got this Mahabhagya Yoga. But okay, so that's Mahabhagya Yoga. To be sorry, anything? Yeah. So really, at the end of the day, we have to see, was it a good Mahabhagya Yoga? Because if you actually think about Hitler's life, yeah, he rose to the pinnacle, but at the same time, he came down crashing. Yeah. Okay. So what happened? Yeah. What happened? Yeah. Okay. So you'll see that this Mahabhagya Yoga is a very afflicted Mahabhagya Yoga. Okay. For instance, ascendant. Yeah. Ascendant is being aspected by Mars, Sun, and also the 10th aspect of Saturn. Sorry, is it 10th aspect of Saturn? No, not the 10th. Yeah. And so that's Mars and Sun are aspecting the ascendant.
Mr. Chandra, do
The
you want
Sun.
the aspects slide?
No, it's okay, not necessary. I think people here are okay, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's okay. I think that's fine. Yeah, and then
Mr.
you've
Chandra,
got,
don't mind, can tell what's the formation of the Maha Yoga you're telling?
the Maha Yoga. Yes,
Yeah.
okay. Basically, for a male, it has to be a daytime birth daytime birth. So in this case, it's 6:30, and of course, it's in Europe, it's daytime. At that in that year, and the Janma Lagna, Moon Lagna, and the Sun Lagna all have to be seated in odd signs. So you count basically from Aries. Yeah. So Aries is an odd sign, even, odd, even, odd, even, odd, even, odd. Yeah. Okay. So this gives them. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chandra,
Yeah.
I'm Major Thiru.
Yeah.
I will appreciate if you can put the Navamsa chart there.
Do we have the Navamsa? Yeah. Okay, fine. That's the Navamsa chart. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay. So yeah. So as we were saying about this, and also for females, it's the other way around. Like I said, yeah, okay. It's a nighttime birth for females, and the placement of the lagnas, all the three lagnas, has to be on the even signs. Yeah. Okay. All right. And of course, like I said, you can see this in the chart of Indira Gandhi, Lata Mangeshkar, Queen Victoria, to name a few. Yeah. Okay. So this is a really very rare yoga. I think maybe just 4 to 5% of the population only have this yoga. Unlike, all the other yogas now, where you got 30-40% of the people who have this yogas. Yeah. Okay. I think even, if I'm not mistaken, Ratan Tata also has got this yoga. Yeah. So really, it's a very rare yoga, and it really brings people up to the very top. Yeah, very top. Some, of course, have remained at the top. But of course, in the case of Hitler, because this Mahabhagya yoga is afflicted, like I said, ascendant is afflicted by Mars and what do you call, Sun. Sun, of course, being a mild malefic. And Sun Lagna is also afflicted with Mars and Sun sitting in there, and also aspected by Saturn. Yeah, aspected by Saturn. Then I think it's the it's the 7. Yeah, it's the 10th aspect of Saturn. Sorry, yeah, it's the 10th aspect of Saturn. So that's Sun Lagna is also afflicted. And of course, the Moon Lagna is in the Rahu Ketu axis. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So really, literally, this yoga, what does it bring you? It confers grand luck, good fortune, high status, position, titles, you name it. Everything is there. Yeah. And these all were enjoyed by Hitler. Yeah. Okay. All right. So now we will go to the next yoga, which is also a very important and very powerful yoga for him. Yeah, okay, which is Mars. Yeah, Mars giving Ruchaka yoga. So what is the definition for Ruchaka yoga? Basically, it's one of the Pancha Mahapurusha yogas. So the definition for Ruchaka yoga is that it has Mars has to sit either in its own house or in an exaltation position, and it must be in a Kendra position. Yeah, 1, 4, 7, 10. Yeah, we'll give it Ruchaka yoga. Actually, if you the guy who discovered this thing is Varaha Mahira. Yeah, he discovered it. He actually put in another condition as well, which requires all the balas, at least about 4 balas for each of these planets to be really having, that Pancha Mahapurusha yoga strength. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I think over time people had decided to leave out the balas. Some of the balas are there because by sitting in its own sthana, it's already got strength. It may not have a big bala. It may not have other balas. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so he had Ruchaka yoga, and also if you go to the D9, again that Ruchaka yoga repeats itself. Yeah, Ruchaka yoga is repeating itself. You can see that it's there. What I found is that some of the later writers, later astrologers or sages, I won't say sages, but I would say the very senior astrologers have tended to say that it's not just Kendras, it's also trines, but again, all these things are really debatable. So we don't really know. Yeah, okay, but really Varaha Mahira only stated that it should be Kendras. Yeah, okay, all right. What else can I say? Yeah, okay. So basically, that's one yoga, Ruchaka yoga, which is very powerful. But of course, again, when you look at this Ruchaka yoga, it's involved with Mercury, Saturn, and Mars and Venus. Yeah, Mars and Venus are really in what is called a Graha Yuddha. You know what I mean? It's just about 18 minutes away from each other. Yeah, okay. So, and of course, the impact of Saturn there, and also with Sun there. Yeah, so it's a Ruchaka yoga, all right, but then it comes with some malefics associated with it. Yeah, okay. We'll come to the Graha Yuddha part a bit later. Yeah, okay, all right. So that's Ruchaka yoga. Yeah, okay, all right. So one thing that's important, and I've told the basic class students, that this Ruchaka yogas, yeah, I mean Ruchaka yoga or any of the Mahapurusha yogas are really not sensitive to, that means they manifest anytime, throughout your life, that means they are not dependent on dasa bhuktis. Yeah, hopefully, I mean, provided they are not they are not afflicted, you know what I mean? Yeah. So really, they will give him benefit. That's why it's called Mahapurusha, Pancha Mahapurusha Yoga. It's the yoga for great people. It's there throughout their lives. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Like I said, there's malefic association, so it's not really that strong at the end of the day. Yeah. But it's probably one of the strongest in its chart. Yeah. Then you've got the Budaditya Yoga, Sun-Mercury combination. Unfortunately, this Mercury is combust. Yeah. Again, definition for Budaditya Yoga is that Sun and Mercury are in conjunction, either in the first or the fifth house. Yeah. Either in the first or the fifth house. Yeah. That's the main definition. Yeah, because Budaditya yoga can be in any house, and you find that people don't feel the effects of that. Yeah, and it has to be connected with the Lagna Lord. Yeah, okay, all right. I mean, all these yogas where the Lagna Lord is connected, the impact is just unbelievable, because the Lagna Lord represents the person, represents you. You know what I mean? So that's why it's important that the Lagna Lord should also be in the picture. Yeah. So the Budaditya yoga wasn't a fantastic yoga, because combust Mercury didn't really, gave him some, made him an author, helped in his authorship in a way. Yeah, helped in it. Yeah. Other than that, gave him some intellectual skills, gave him some oratory skills, and those sort of things. Made him a very smart person. Yeah, I mean, whatever said and done, Hitler at the end of the day was a very, very smart, conniving person who knew how to capture power and consolidate power. Yeah, and rise to the very top. Yeah, all right. We'll later look at that. Yeah, okay, all right. So that's Budaditya yoga. And then he had something called Hamsa Yoga. Hamsa Yoga. Hamsa Yoga is another of the Pancha Mahapurusha Yoga, but unfortunately, it was only from Moon. I mean, taking Moon Lagna, where Jupiter and Moon are sitting in the first house. So in that sense, he had a Hamsa yoga in that sense, yeah, which wasn't really that very powerful, because it was in the Rahu Ketu axis. Yeah, no doubt Rahu Ketu are not really that close, but they're still in that axis. Yeah, so that's another yoga that he had. Yeah, and then yeah, he had this thing called Pavraja Yoga or Sannyasa Yoga. Yeah, okay. Okay. Sorry, I can't help, chuckling a bit. Yeah. Because Brihat Parashara Hora says that you've got 4 or more planets in a house, you could get this Sannyasa Yoga or Pavraja Yoga. Yeah, okay. But then, okay, depends on the condition of the planets. Yeah, here. Because Mercury is combust, so it didn't really help. Yeah, okay, all right, okay. And then there were all these malefic afflictions. Yeah, okay. And of course, the war planets, the war planets, the planets the planets that are associated with violence, all are very strong. Sun exalted there, then Mars sitting in its own house, all didn't really help as far as giving him sannyasa yoga. Okay. So, but anyway, for sannyasa yoga, you also have to look at the other houses as well. Second house of family, seventh house of spouse, 12th house of marital, the house of the bed. Okay. All right. Okay. So all these houses also need to be looked. So, but basically, he had the conditions according to Brihad Parashara Hora, but really it couldn't fulfill the requirements for a sannyasa yoga. But he displayed certain characteristics in the sense that he would like isolation. He'd isolate himself. He was interested in the occult. He was interested in the occult and things related to that, those sort of areas. There was some interest there, but really no spirituality, on his part. Okay. What else can we say? So basically those are the major yogas. I mean, I'm sure there are other yogas as well, but I'm just looking at major yogas. Okay. All right. Okay. So so basically that was the major yoga. So of course the biggest being the Mahabhagya yoga. Right. So now let's look at the planets and the houses themselves. Okay. All right. So so any questions so far? From anyone? Anything on the yogas? Okay, so we'll go into the houses. Okay, the houses lagna. So essentially, like I've been telling all the basic class students, the most important house is your first house, lagna, and the lagna lord. All right. You want to see the strength of the lagna and the lagna lord. Okay.
Sorry, Mr. Chandra. I think Major Thiru put up his hand. He's got a question.
Oh, is it? Okay. Sorry, I didn't see. Yes, sir.
Sorry to disturb, Mr. Chandra.
It's okay.
Okay. You are talking about all the yogas. Now you're coming to the ascendant, huh?
Yeah.
Lagna.
Not all the yogas, the major yogas.
Okay, major yogas. Let it be.
Yeah.
Only yogas will work when there is a dasabuddhi. During
Yes,
the
sure.
dasabuddhi.
Of course.
And
of course.
gochara time.
Yeah, of course.
Other than that, you can have all the yogas. It won't work until the time of dasabuddhi and gochara.
Okay.
Here, the ascendant itself is already a yoga ascendant. Why? Because.
Sorry, are you overshooting me? I'm coming to that later. I've just completed yogas now.
Okay.
I'm not. Yeah.
Sorry. Let you complete it. Then I understand.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
Yeah, Chandra, if I may interrupt. I think we keep a session for questions where you can ask anybody your questions. That time you can come in, so that it doesn't interrupt your flow, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Okay.
Actually, I'll just address one point of Major Thiru. Basically, if you read Brihad Parashara Hora, it actually says that where there's Pancha Mahapurusha yogas, they operate irrespective of the dasas. That's what the book says. So that's what I'm quoting here. But in practice, we have to see that on a chart by chart basis. Okay. All right. So all the other yogas, I totally agree with you that they are based on the dasa buddhis. Okay. Right. Okay. So let's look at the ascendant. Okay. So the ascendant is aspecting Venus. Venus aspecting the ascendant. So that's very good. All right. Okay. And not only that, this ascendant is also aspected by 4 planets, which has actually made Hitler a very complex person. Okay, I mean, we've got Mercury. So Mercury contributes all the Mercurian qualities. In here, Mars, of course, is contributing the Martian qualities, of the militarism and self-centeredness and all that. And of course, what else? Mercury is what I said, made him an orator, gave him those qualities. A writer, he wrote one best-selling book, all right, okay. Sun, of course, gives, it's an exalted sun, and it's very near exaltation point, okay. It's in actually almost deep exaltation. Sun is at 8 degrees 29. When sun is exalted, it's at 10 degrees. Okay. So it's a very strong sun. Okay. And of course, Venusian qualities. Venus is what made him an artist. All right. And actually, Adolf Hitler started off his life wanting to be an artist. Wanting to be artist. Later, we'll go into the Dasa Bhuktis, wanting to be an artist, but unfortunately, it didn't work out. Why it didn't work out is the $1 million question. Now the question is, it's you, like I said, there's the planetary war between Venus and Mars. Okay. So is it that Venus lost out this war and that's why he abandoned art and went into militarism? I mean, that's what some writers say. Okay. All right. I mean, there's a whole school of thought on this Graha Yuddha, you know what I mean? Because Venus is 24 degrees 22 minutes. And Mars is 24 degrees 04 minutes. There's a school of thought that says that the planet with the lowest longitudinal degree wins the war. That means Mars wins the war. Okay. Of course, there's another school of thought that says the highest planetary degree wins the war, because they say that you have gone deeper into the house. So you win the war. Okay. That's another school of thought. There's another school of thought that says that Graha Yuddhas don't matter in individual horoscopes. It only comes into play in mundane horoscopes. Right? And there's, of course, yet another school of thought, which says that the latitude is what matters. Latitude of these planets is what matters. And you can actually go and see the latitudes in Jagannath Hora. If you click, you can go and see the latitudes. So the stronger or the higher latitude wins the war. Okay, all right. And this latitude, okay, for instance, one of my own Guruji, and there's another school of thought that says that the planet that is the brightest planet wins the war. So in this case, Venus is always going to be the brightest planet. Venus will win the war. So we have got like 5 schools of thought. Okay. One of my own Gurujis, Mark Boney, says that the brightest planet wins the war. If I've read books from Hart Defoe, Robert Swoboda, and also just recently, I picked up an article from someone who is a fellow of the Federation of British Astrologers. This was written in 1946 or something like that, where this guy says, a guy by the name of Edgar Bray, who says that latitude matters. Latitude matters. Okay. So we have to judge for ourselves, by how Hitler was, during his time, what was strong. What was strong? He gave up art. Meaning he gave up Venus. Okay. He gave up Venus. So which means that Mars won. The other thing is that also, later I'll come to it, he was born in the Venus Dasa. He was born in the Venus Dasa. He had 16 years of Venus Dasa as soon as he was born. And they were in poverty. They lived in poverty. His parents were peasants. So can this be the makings of a strong Venus? We don't know. Okay. All right. Questions to be asked. Okay. So that's Venus Lagna. And then you look at Sun Lagna is also strong. I mean, of course, not with, like I said, nothing is black and white in astrology. Okay. Sun is an exalted sun, near close to deep exaltation. It's a strong sun. And it's together with its friend Mars in Mars's house. Okay. It's not combust. All right. So Sun Lagna also, you see, is a strong Lagna. All right. I mean, please understand that, a Lagna can be strong, but there could be malefic aspects, and these malefic aspects will play up at the time of the Dasa Bhukti. All right. But generally, you look at sun itself, it's strong. It's in an exalted position. You look at moon. Moon is also with a friend, Jupiter. And Jupiter is in its own house, yeah, in her own house. So therefore, you could say that moon is also strong, notwithstanding the fact that it's in the Rahu Ketu axis. Okay. So that's the lagnas, yeah. Okay. So let's look at the ascendant, yeah. Okay. We have looked at the lagna lord, yeah, all right. And we have in fact looked at 3 lagna lords, yeah, Janma lagnas, sun lagna, and the moon lagna. Let's look at the ascendant, yeah. The ascendant is in Libra. It's in Chitra Navamsa. Yeah. Okay, all right. And Hitler had a lifelong interest in art, architecture. Yeah, all right. And who is the deity of Chitra? It's Vishwakarma. He's the, what is he called? He's called the ultimate, the celestial architect. Yeah, all right. Okay. All right. And also he displayed a lot of the other characteristics of Chitra. Yeah, okay. He was very hard to defeat. He liked the arts, you know what I mean? He was a competent sketcher, good watercolorist. Yeah. Ambitious, charismatic, successful author. Yeah. All right. 5th house. Authorship is 5th house. Yeah. Authorship is basically 5th house. Yeah. All right. And who is the lord of the 5th house? Saturn. Saturn sitting in the 10th. And Saturn is in the nakshatra of Mercury. Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. So, yeah. So basically, like I said, very complex character. Yeah. Very complex character because of the aspect of so many planets into his ascendant. Yeah. And they all have had a say in his life. Yeah. They all had a say in his life. Okay. So that's Lagna. Yeah. I'm not really going to look at all the houses, but some of the major houses. Let's just look at the major houses of powers, how you want to call it. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So, what else can I say? Birth Lagna, all the Lagnas are good. Yeah. So, if you look at all the Lagnas, yeah, okay. Venus, Lagna Lord, it sits in Bharani, yeah. I mean, basically, this also explains for his nature, his character, his nature. Bharani, ruled by Yama, again, a fierce, cruel Lagna, yeah, all right, Bharani. So, similarly, what else? Sun. Sun is also, let's see, Sun. Sun is in, sorry. Yeah. Sun is with Mars. Hey, why is Mars, isn't Sun Bharan? Sorry, I've got, oh, okay, all right, sorry. So, sorry, Sun is with Mars, and Mars is in Bharani, again ruled by Venus, the Lord is Yama. Yeah, okay. And Moon. Moon is, Moon Lagna. Moon is in Purva Ashada. Yeah, Purva Ashada. Again, it's not as demonic as Yama. Yeah, basically, Purva Ashada is much milder, but again, it's a very self-centered nakshatra who will not listen to anybody else. Yeah, basically, it's got a mind of its own. Yeah, okay, all right. Some of the books say that this is also a sign of a war sign, Sagittarius. Maybe it's because of the association with the archer, but I'm not so sure about that. Right. Okay. All right. So basically, let's look at the 3rd house now. So 2nd house is about the speech, oratory skills, and of course, Mars is sitting there in its own house, and of course, in the nakshatra, Mars is sitting in Scorpio. Yeah. Okay. So that that explains his great oratory skills. Yeah. Yeah. Right. And 3rd house is about siblings, communication, effort, courage. Again, you can see that this house is strong with Jupiter sitting there in its own house. Yeah, okay. And Ketu Kedu, no doubt. Okay, you've got Rahu Kedu exists. So who does Kedu behave like? Kedu will have show some traits of Jupiter, Moon, and of course, the other thing, Kedu will of course show the traits of Mars because Kedu and Mars are connected. Yeah, all right. Okay. So again, it enhanced his courage. Yeah, his courage, his military skills. Yeah, basically. Yeah, okay. And of course, as you know that he won these medals. I don't really know whether it was for bravery, but because I couldn't find specifically saying that was bravery, but I suppose Iron Cross was for some achievement during the war. Yeah, okay, all right. And then, of course, let's look at the fourth house. What is the fourth house saying? Fourth house Lord, Lagna, Saturn is aspecting it. Hitler had very poor basic education. In fact, he wasn't interested in studying at all. Yeah. I mean, don't know whether it was due to the family life or what. Yeah. Basically, he wasn't interested in. Yeah. So he couldn't get a school leaving certificate. Yeah, he couldn't get a school leaving certificate. That we are talking about basic education. Yeah, all right, okay. And also you can see, although Saturn, fourth lord, is aspecting it, but really there's no connection of Saturn or the dasa itself with Mercury or with Jupiter. Yeah, with Mercury or Jupiter, the two planets that's related to education. Yeah, all right, okay. But he wasn't really he wasn't, he rose right to the very top. Yeah. Okay. So really this man was intelligent in many ways. Yeah. He was intelligent in many ways. So there was always a desire to learn something. Yeah. All right. Okay. Then of course we've got seventh house. He had a very, no doubt Venus is sitting there, but it's an afflicted Venus, you know what I mean? Yeah, afflicted Venus, you've got Mars, you've got Sun. He had many, many relationships, many partners, although eventually he did marry one of them, yeah, after 15 years, yeah. He had a 15-year relationship. He did marry one, but really he he was easily infatuated with any good-looking lady, yeah. Okay, and many of them died mysteriously. Some supposedly committed suicide, but we don't really know. Some attempted suicide, in relationship. But basically, he was a very possessive guy. Yeah, okay. So relationships didn't really work out that well for him. So as you can just imagine, yeah, seventh house with the impact of all these planets. Yeah, okay. So yeah, so that was seventh house, and then let's look at ninth house. Yeah, ninth house is house of father. Yeah, he had a very very bad relationship with his father, very conflicting relationship with his father. Yeah, they never got on. Yeah, they never got on, and he was really happy to see when his father passed away. I think at about age 14 or whatever. Yeah. Okay, and this one you can actually see. Yeah. Okay, that basically ninth house is occupied by ninth house Lord Mercury is combust. Yeah, combust sitting with malefics. Yeah. Okay, and then who is the Lagna? Who is the significator for father? Sun is there. Sun, no doubt, it's exalted, but it's got the malefic aspect of Saturn. It's got malefic conjunction of Mars. Yeah. So all in all, father and him never got on. Yeah. Right. Okay. So in fact, that relationship affected him to a very large extent. I think you know what I mean. Yeah. Affected him to a very large extent. Emotionally, yeah, emotionally, they never got. Although he got on well with his mother, but yeah, father and him were like poles apart. Yeah, okay, okay. So that's basically the houses. Yeah, the major houses. Yeah, we're talking about. One of the things with Jupiter, sorry, with Hitler is that because he was born in 1889. Yeah, okay. The records, not all the records are there. So tying up many of the records with Dasa Bhuktis, wasn't really that easy. Yeah, okay. But overall, you're able to form some connection, and you're able to say this dasa is good, this wasn't good. Yeah, all right. Okay, so it's a bit unfortunate unless there's someone has got some very detailed I mean, I found one detailed chronological write-up in an open university website, but I think even that is not really very detailed, yeah, because they just give the year and they say this and this happened in this year. Okay, so it's very difficult to tie up to the bhuktis here, right? Okay, so let's go into the dasa bhuktis. Yeah, okay, all right. So he was born in 1889. Yeah, he was born in 1889. He was running Venus dasa. His parents were peasants, poor peasants. Yeah, all right. Father was a strict disciplinarian. Yeah. Mother was more compassionate. Yeah. Okay. He attended school, but never interested in studying. Yeah. So he left school with poor educational records. Yeah. At age of 13 or 14, father died. I mean, if I make it as 14, seems to tie in with what is it? Venus Mercury. Yeah, Venus Mercury, ninth lord. Yeah, father. Yeah. Seems to tie in with that. Yeah. So father died at that age. Yeah. Okay. And then so that was really a poor period for him. Yeah. He was really down and out. Yeah, he was really down and out. Yeah, like I said, very, very poor, hardly had anything, no money, no education, nothing. Yeah, okay. So after the Venus period, we had the Sun period. Sun period started in 1907. Yeah, 1907 and finished in 1913. Yeah, Sun runs for 7 years. Yeah, sorry, 6 years. Okay, all right. So again, wasn't fantastic because in 1907 would be, just about at the start of the Sun period, he left okay, he was born in this particular village, yeah. He left and he went to Vienna, that is the capital city of Austria, to sign up for the Vienna Academy of Art, yeah. He was a good painter. He was a good sketcher. He's good at watercolors and all that. Yeah. Okay. He applied twice. Each time he got rejected. Yeah. Because for the simple reason that he couldn't produce a school leaving certificate. Yeah. All right. Okay. So he was absolutely gutted. Yeah. He's disappointed. Yeah. All right. Okay. He couldn't attain his ambition of, of mastering, art, Okay. I mean, that's because he's got a good Venus, Venus aspecting I mean, Venus, of course, is afflicted, but it's still, it's aspecting the Lagna. So it has to have some weight, you know what I mean? Yeah. So this is what I mean, you see, you know what I mean? Yeah. That you can have there'll be good things coming out of Venus, and also there'll be not so good things. I mean, he wasn't able at the end of the day, he wasn't able to fulfill his desires of getting into the field of art. Yeah. All right. And that was because of all the afflictions that Venus was suffering. Yeah. All right. But it still didn't make him a bad artist. Yeah. Okay. All right. In fact, just to let you all know that for the German army, he's the one who designed the swastika. He was very involved in the designing of the soldiers' outfits, yeah, the uniforms of the soldiers, the very smart uniform of the soldiers. Yeah, okay. So yeah, he had a lot of artistic talent, but unfortunately, it couldn't be displayed as an artist. Yeah, all right, okay. So from 1907 up to the end of the Sun Dasa, things were really bad for him. He had no money, struggling to survive. He was doing menial jobs. It was an exalted son, mind you, exalted son. He was doing menial jobs. He was selling little postcards of his watercolor paintings. He had a lot of free time. He engaged in political activity. He got very absorbed in politics, political literature, political newspapers at this time. Yeah, okay. That was up to the end of the Sun Dasa. Yeah, all right. After that started the Moon Dasa, 1913. So around 1914, World War I started. Yeah. World War I started. I make it that he would have joined the army in 1914, yeah, when it was Moon Mars, yeah, because we don't really know. I'm taking that it's a war planet, so he might have joined the army at that time, Moon Mars. Okay. So he was in the army until they had peace. Yeah, they had the peace, I think. Okay, all right. They had peace, yeah. Around 1918, they had peace. So you can see, 19 Moon Dasa, he joins the army, goes into the army around 1918, I think. They started having peace talks and all that. So during this moon period, he had decoration for valor. So why did he join the army? You can see, Moon is sitting in the house of courage. Moon is sitting in the house of courage together with Ketu. It's probably acting a bit like Mars, the planet of war. Yeah. Okay. So these are the factors that probably pushed him into going into the army. Yeah. All right. Moon is also in the Venus Nakshatra, and Venus is sitting in Mars's house. Yeah. All right. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to look at the chart. Yeah. So all these factors conspired, like they say, how the universe works, you know what I mean? Although you can have a fantastic Venus, you may be dying to be an artist, but the universe will push you in a certain direction, which it thinks is what is meant for you. Yeah, okay. In this case, for Adolf Hitler. Yeah, all right. Okay. All right. So he did well in the army. He found purpose. He won apparently 2 medals. Yeah, 2 Iron Cross medals. Yeah, he won 2 Iron Cross medals. He served and he got promoted to the position of Lance Corporal. Okay. All right. And he was supposedly a runner in the war front. Yeah, okay. I think, like I said earlier, there was probably no telephones to communicate. So you probably had one person running, to a certain spot to pass messages. Yeah, okay, all right. Okay, he got injured in the war, but he recovered. Yeah. And then in 1919, so peace talks started in 1918, but in it still wasn't peace yet. Yeah. So in 1919, he went back into the army. See, this is the interesting part, that's happening. 1919, he went back into the army. So I don't know. I make it that it was Mercury, Sorry, Mercury is not here. Yeah, Mercury, you can't see. After Saturn would be Mercury. 1919, he entered the army. Yeah, all right. And it's interesting because now when you entered into the army, they put him in the intelligence propaganda unit where he undertakes political training. Yeah. He learns about speaking to the troops, advocating about German nationalism, anti-socialism, and where he hones his oratory skills. Yeah. So you can see, it doesn't like start overnight. He wasn't born where he learns, where the army is teaching him how to, all these things. Yeah, okay. He became a spy for the army. Yeah, he spied on other political parties and told the army, who is doing what and all that. He was an informer, army informer. Yeah, all right, okay. He joins so towards this point here, towards the end of 1919, then he joins a workers called the German Workers' Party. It is a right-wing, anti-Semitic. Yeah, so you can see where his hatred for Jews comes. Yeah, all right, anti-Semitic, anti-communist party. Yeah, all right. So this goes on. So nothing really happens. He just progresses in life, in the political sphere. Yeah, okay. This is 1919. Okay, all right. 1920, he joins another party called the National Socialist German Workers' Party. It's actually the short form for it is actually Nazi. So that's where you get the word Nazi from. Yeah, okay, all right. It's actually named after a political party. All right, okay. So basically, he progresses. 2021, he takes over leadership of the party. You see, he rises up the ranks. He's a smart guy. He's a very smart guy. Yeah, all right, okay. And in 2023, he tries to overthrow the government of the day. Yeah, by staging a coup. It didn't work out. So he was imprisoned. Yeah, he was imprisoned, but he only served 9 months in the prison. That was in 2023. You can't really see it here. Okay, 2023. Yeah, because it's all in the moon period. Yeah, okay, moon period. And okay, it's all this is happening in the moon period. Yeah, okay, and maybe straddles a bit of the Mars period. Okay, correct. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so he progresses up until, so during the Mars period, he's working his way up into the in politics. Yeah, in the whole Mars period lasts 7 years. Yeah, so it started in 2023 and it finishes off in 2030. Yeah, so all this while he's in politics, uh, you know, progressing himself eventually to take leadership of his political party, the Nazi party. Yeah, okay, which in 1930, when they had an election, it became the second largest party in the German parliament. Yeah. Okay. All right. So to cut a long story short, he becomes 1933, where 1933. So you can see 1933 is really Rahu starts. 1930 Rahu starts. So really, the entire success of Adolf Hitler starts in the Rahu period. Yeah, starts in the Rahu period where he becomes the Führer, the leader. All right, the Chancellor of the German government. Yeah, of the German country, the Chancellor of the German company, and yeah, and he consolidates his position. Yeah, so that goes on until 1939. Yeah, 19. So in this meantime, what actually happens? You can see Rahu, Jupiter, Rahu, Saturn. He eliminates enemies. He schemes and he wheels and deals and he eliminates enemies. He actually declares himself as the despotic dictator. Yeah, okay. He becomes the dictator. Yeah, all right. Yeah. In March 1933, he has got rid of all his enemies. So it's around this time, Rahu, Jupiter, I suppose. Yeah, Rahu, Jupiter. Or could be even Rahu. Yeah. He gets rid of all enemies, becomes the dictator. Yeah. All right. And basically, that's when he decides that Jews needs to be eliminated. Yeah, Jews needs to be eliminated. He starts World War One. Mind you, he starts World War One by invading Poland. Yeah, and that starts in 1939, just after this period. Yeah, Mars, Mercury. Yeah, Mars, Mercury. It's just after that period. As you can see, Mercury is with Mars, Sun, all the warmongering planets. Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, so basically that was it. You know what I mean? And he starts World War II, which results in the death of nearly over 50 million people, and maybe 25% of them were Jews, yeah, who were gassed, yeah, okay. And things started going badly towards the end of this period, 1945, around 1943, things started going badly, and there was an attempted assassination on him, Rahu Venus, yeah, Rahu Venus, when in 1944, they tried to assassinate his own people, tried to assassinate him. Yeah. And yeah, he survived, but he was injured. Yeah, he was injured. Yeah. And by that time, that was 1944. By that time, April came, the Allies. Yeah, that means the British, the Russians, and the rest were winning the war. And on 30th April 1945, he decides to end his life. Yeah. He commits suicide. Yeah. Basically, again, here, I don't know. They say that he shot himself. I mean, I have seen sites where they say that, oh, we can prove that it wasn't a bullet wound that killed him. But I mean, the history says that he committed suicide. Yeah. So that was in Rahu, Venus. Yeah. As you can see, Venus. Why Venus? Rahu is sitting in the ninth house. Yeah. Rahu will behave like one of all these planets, Jupiter, Moon, and also Mercury. And Mercury is really, at the end of the day, the ninth and the 12th lord. And Venus is sitting in the seventh Maraka house. Yeah, okay. That's giving death. Yeah, okay. So yeah, so basically that's Hitler. Yeah, that's Hitler, his life story. Yeah, and how the Dasa periods, how we've tried, tried to match the Dasa periods with what happened in his life. Yeah, okay. I think there's certain pertinent questions that we really want to ask. Yeah, one is like, of course, Mars, Venus conjunction. Yeah, okay. Who won the war? Yeah, who won the war? I mean, judging by what happened in his life, it seems like Mars won the war. I mean, he became a military dictator, had showed all the military characteristics, which wouldn't have happened if Mars had lost the war. But of course, you can go and Google search, you'll find that there are websites that actually says that Venus won the war. All right. So, okay. I mean, we're all entitled to our views. Yeah. Okay. So let's just apply some logic to see which planet was stronger at the end of the day. So as I said earlier, he was born during the Venus Dasa where they were in abject poverty. He was so poor. Yeah. Yeah. All right. His family were peasants. Yeah. All right. Okay. And then why did he not become an artist? Yeah. I mean, art was something that he loved so much, but he couldn't become an artist. Yeah. And the universe made him to become a military megalomaniac, a military, a dictator, yeah, a megalomaniac who killed numerous people, yeah, yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So what else can I say? Yeah. And also his wife also died with him at that time. So again, it ties in with Rahu Venus. Yeah, wife also died, seventh house. I think she also committed suicide in some way. Wasn't shot. I was told that I read that she was poisoned. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, and basically he he had a bad relationship with women in general. So again, it talks about a weak Venus. Yeah, yeah. So it all seems to add up to the point that I'm not going to say fact, to the point that Mars did win the war. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so basically that's that. So what we have done is that, okay, just a few takeaways. I just want to say, yeah, okay. I mean, we've covered basically the dasas. We've covered the bhavas, the major bhavas, the major dasas. We've covered the dasa periods, yeah, the Vimshottari dasa period, yeah, okay, to try to tie up with what happened in his life, yeah, his life, okay, so that we know that, okay, this chart is the right chart of it. That's so those are a few things. And of course, the other thing that, I mean, for those at least the basic class students, is you might have learned is that you can have very strong planets, yeah, but sometimes they don't deliver. Yeah, okay. Why? Because there's the affliction there that does not allow them to deliver fully. Yeah, I mean, there could be some delivery, but not fully. I mean, an exalted sun, you would have expected things to come, for him to get during his exalted sun. I mean, he may have had a little bit of success, but there was nothing. Like I said, during that entire period, he was living in poverty, doing menial jobs during the Sun Mahadasa. Okay. Okay. So it seems like Mars is the period where he started his political activities. Yeah, his political career started rising in his political career. Yeah, he started doing well in his political career. Actually, I think yeah. And Moon was good for him. Yeah, Moon was when he entered into the army. He entered into the army. He started building his career. He started building his political career. He got to learn how to scheme and wheel and deal and scheme. He learned about. He started honing his oratory skills. Yeah, okay, talking about German nationalism and anti-socialism and all that. So he seemed to have done pretty well during the Moon period. Yeah, Moon period, and then Mars was his political. Rahu was the pinnacle and the downfall for him. Yeah. Okay. So Venus wasn't really good, wasn't really a good period for him. Yeah. Okay, so there you go. So that's Adolf Hitler. I hope it's been worthwhile. I mean, I hope you've picked up a few points. Yeah.